Welcome to my views and news, another news bulletin with 7 news stories from Tigray, Eritrea, Sudan, and a new story about Ethiopian National Defense Force too. Bad news for Tigray viewers. I have a news story which I think shows that an attempt is being made to create political divisions within Tigray. Who is behind this attempt? Secondly, are ENDF members psychologically fit for their job? Because an incident is being reported involving an Ethiopian army members. The Ethiopian army member killed and injured several people today. This is not the first time that an Ethiopian army soldier has been involved in this sort of indiscriminate shooting. We have seen that in the past too. I think 3 or 4 incidents so far in around 6 to 8 months. So what is happening? Are these ENDF members psychologically fit or not? Thirdly, Eritrea viewers, Shire and Selassie deputy mayor has made some allegations against Eritrean military. That Eritrean military is in Tigray, it is committing excesses, it is robbing livestock. And lastly, Sudan, Hemedti Hamdan Dagalo released an audio message today. Again, a confirmation that he is alive. What is this audio message about? Why was there need for the release of an audio message? Because there is relative calm in Sudan these days because a 3-day ceasefire is in place. Hemedti's message is about Darfur, it seems. And lastly, in ethnic violence in Darfur between 2 tribes, more than a dozen members of the 2 tribes have been killed. Darfur violence is multi-dimensional violence, Arab, non-Arab, intra-Arab, RSF versus Sudanese army, Chadian military versus rapid support forces, etc. Firstly, viewers, what is the bad news for Tigray? In several previous videos, I spoke in detail about several challenges which the people of Tigray are facing. They are just out of a trauma. The war was a trauma for civilians, for women, for children, and for rehabilitation, for reconstruction. You need consensus among political players. Divisions won't solve Tigray's problems. Yes, there can be difference of opinion, there can be healthy criticism, there can be disagreements. But if there is a deliberate attempt to create divisions in Tigray, it's not a good news for the people of Tigray. Tigray is going to face multiple challenges in coming months. Election. Will it be fair or not? Return of IDPs. Will all be able to return to their homes? Status of Raya Volkayet. Call for a referendum in Raya is being made. Resumption of aid. World Food Programme, USAID could resume food aid supply to Tigray next month, but how much aid will be now sent to Tigray? It's not clear. Then Tigray is facing a shortage of funds. Tigray's educational health infrastructure destroyed. Educational activities resuming. Still a lot needs to be done. Several challenges. And a new challenge could be an attempt to create political divisions within Tigray. Today, NABE issued registration certificate to a new political party, Tambian Regional Party. Tambian Ethiopian Regional Party is the name of this party. It applied for registration a few weeks ago, and today it was issued a registration certificate. So it's now a party. Tambian is a region, a zone in Tigray, central Tigray. And Tambian was the heart of Tigray's resistance when Eritrean military, Amhara force, Ethiopian military were in Tigray. In the first round of fighting from November 2020 till June 2021, it was Tambian which was the stronghold of Tigray fighters, TPLF leaders, Tigray generals, all were there mostly. And they managed to push EDF out of Tigray. Was that withdrawal voluntary, or were EDF and other forces forced to withdraw? That is again debatable. But Tambian served as the center of TDF's resistance. Now, a new political party formed. What is the manifesto of this party? The party is demanding creation of a separate Tambian regional state, separate, split with Tigray. This party wants Tigray to be split. It wants Tambian to be a separate regional state. Like Agos in the Amhara region want a separate Ago regional state. They say there should be a separate regional state with Agos. Gurages want a separate regional state to Wolaitas too. Gurage, Wolaita, both part of SN and PR. A referendum was held in Wolaita yesterday. But Wolaita, Gurage struggle has been peaceful largely. Ago struggle largely peaceful. We know that some Ago, Hemedti armed factions are operating too. And TPLF was backing some of these factions. When TPLF was in power in the form of EPRDF, back then TPLF was accused of supporting Agos, Ago movement for a separate regional state, split with Amhara regional state. And in the second round of fighting in the war in northern Ethiopia, we saw that Hemedtis were accused of supporting TPLF, of having support of TPLF. Even now, when Fano fighters are fighting against Ethiopian National Defense Force, they mistrust some groups within Ago community. And that is why they think that these groups could support Ethiopian army against Fano fighters. So in the past, allegedly, TPLF was backing a group in the Amhara region. And there are several Ago parties too, Ago political parties, Ago advocacy groups, Ago armed groups. Ago Liberation Front was backed by Tigray fighters when Tigray fighters entered Wag Hemra, North Wollo in July 2021. Same is happening now that some groups are backing this party, Tambian Regional Party. The groups could be based outside Tigray. They want to create divisions within Tigray, like allegedly TPLF tried to create divisions in other regional states, especially Amhara regional state. So I have seen several Amhara activists welcoming the formation of Tambian Regional Party, that Tigray should now, TPLF should now suffer. Like Amhara regional government, Amhara people are suffering because of the unrest in some parts where Agos live, and they demand a separate regional state. So definitely not a good news, but let's see, can there be some negotiation, discussions between this group, Tambian Regional Party and TPLF? Does party have any support in Tigray? Difficult to say. Difficult to say. I don't think TPL would allow this party to work in Tambian. The party would be based outside Tigray. In case of some increased Prosperity Party presence in Tigray. We could see Tambian Regional Party gain some foothold as well. But TPLF is not ready to accept and accommodate Tigrayan opposition parties like Salsevojene and Beton and TIP. How would it accommodate, how would it let Tambian Regional Party to gain a foothold in Tigray? It won't. But this development shows that an effort is being made to create division within Tigray. By the way, TPLF should allow this party to work in Tigray. Yes, that is what freedom is. All parties must have freedom to share their manifesto with the people. It's up to the people of Tigray to decide which party they should vote for. Whether it's Tambian, TPLF, Salsevojene, Beton, all should be allowed to carry out their political activities freely in Tigray. Let's see what happens in the case of Tambian party. It will be allowed by the government of Tigray, interim government, to operate freely in Tigray. We'll see. Secondly, viewers, Ethiopian National Defense Force soldiers involved in indiscriminate shootings. Several incidents reported just 2 days ago in the Afar region of Ethiopia, in Awash Arba. An Ethiopian army soldier killed an Afar police member. What happened after that? After that, locals took to the streets. They blocked main roads from Awash Arba to Harar, Deva. Roads remained blocked. Then negotiations were held and ultimately matter was resolved. Before that, in October last year, at Jigjiga airport of the Somali region, a security official opened fire. If you remember, the 2 videos back then I remember. In that incident, a member of parliament was killed. Javeria Subsis, a female member of parliament, the Somali region, was killed. Incident happened right at Jigjiga airport of Somali region. And now another incident in the Somali region of Ethiopia, where an ENDF member killed several people today in indiscriminate shooting. Incident happened in Korahe zone. Kabdari Dahare is the name of this area. An ENDF member, Ethiopian army soldiers, opened fire. 4 casualties are being confirmed. Among the killed is a Prosperity Party local leader, 2 workers of Ogaden National Liberation Front, ONLF, and some civilians injured as well. After this incident, and the firing went on for half an hour, I think, then the ENDF member was captured by security forces. I think he's alive. Question is, why is that there are so many such incidents happening? Similar incident happened in the same town in last May as well. What is the problem with Ethiopian National Defense Force soldiers? Why are they involved in these incidents? Are they psychologically fit for the job? Are they under pressure? Or do they believe that they cannot be held accountable, that no matter what they do, they can get away with it? And that is why they kill people extrajudicially. They resort to firing whenever they want to, because they know they can get away with it. And most of the time, they get away with it. Then negotiations are held, elders step in, and settlement is made. That is what happens in most cases. Perhaps that is why we're seeing more and more incidents involving ENDF members shooting indiscriminately at civilians. Just a few days ago, what happened in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital of Ethiopia, where Muslims protested outside a mosque. Peaceful demonstration, Muslims unarmed, security forces opened fire. On 2 consecutive Fridays, after Friday prayers, Security forces opened fire at Muslims. 8 were killed back then. Have you heard that some ENDF members have been captured, arrested, being held accountable for 8 deaths in Addis Ababa? No. That is why some of these ENDF members, they lose temper whenever they think that they are being insulted, they are being humiliated, or they are not able to achieve their objectives. So they resort to firing. They kill people, then settlement, nothing happens. Fourthly, viewers, Eritrea. Today, a Tigray city deputy mayor claimed that Eritrean military was operating on Tigray territory 17 kilometers away from Badme. On Tigray territories, Eritrean military was operating. Teferi Haile Melekoth is deputy mayor of Shire and Selassie. And today he said that Eritrean military officials are harassing civilians on Tigray-Eritrea border. Near Badme, Gemhalo and Shiraro, Eritrean military soldiers are still operating. Allegedly, they carry out attacks, they rob livestock, they harass people. People are scared. That is what the Shire deputy mayor reported today. Now, I have been saying that this matter will remain unresolved until there is border demarcation. Dispute can rekindle anytime if there is no lasting solution about Tigray-Eritrea, Ethiopia-Eritrea border demarcation. Whether you implement boundary commission decision, 2-decade-old, or a new arrangement, but the two sides must sit at the table. ENDF involved as well, Tigray to Eritrea, and demarcate the border. That is the way forward. Otherwise, Tigray still says that 30% of Tigray territories are still under the control of Amhara forces, Eritrean military. ENDF is silent. So while Eritrean military is allegedly committing atrocities against civilians in Tigray, there is no ENDF to be seen. ENDF members were seen celebrating Eritrean Independence Day on Eritrean border, Eritrea-Tigray border a few weeks ago. So ENDF is not concerned. It is not taking the issue of demarcation of Tigray-Eritrea border seriously. That is why the tensions will remain tensions, which can turn into confrontation, because the issue is unresolved. Main issue between Tigray-Eritrea is border demarcation, one of the main issues. Lastly, we have Sudan. Hemedti appeared today. Before that, Saudi foreign minister talked to Hemedti and Burhan today. Why? Because ceasefire was announced on Sunday, 3-day ceasefire. Sunday 6 a.m. was the starting time, and Wednesday 6 a.m. ending time. The ceasefire is about to come to an end after a few hours. Then new ceasefire. Faisal bin Farhan, Saudi foreign minister, talked to Hemedti and al-Burhan. He asked them to extend the ceasefire. After 7 days, I think, Eid al-Adha will be celebrated in Sudan, Muslim religious festival. Saudi Arabia wants Burhan and Hemedti to extend the ceasefire into Eid al-Adha, a 3-day festival, by the way, Eid al-Adha. Cattle sacrificed on this religious day. Hemedti and Burhan have not confirmed extension of ceasefire. Saudi Arabia is trying to convince them. Let's see. This 3-day ceasefire was largely successful, largely implemented. Hemedti issued an audio message today, from where he was, I think, in some bunker, it seemed. And why was there need for a new audio message today? Because there is a ceasefire in place. I think Hemedti's, the focus of Hemedti's message is on Darfur. He spoke about 72-hour ceasefire. He spoke about, he thanks Saudi Arabia for hosting dialogue, and other countries too. But mainly he addressed what is happening in Darfur. He rejected the news about involvement of rapid support forces in the assassination of West Darfur Governor Khamis Abu Bakr. Though most sources say that Khamis Abu Bakr was assassinated by rapid support force members. He said there should be investigation into what is happening in Darfur and that RSF would cooperate with investigators. So he basically said that RSF was not involved in any atrocities in Darfur. He said Sudanese military was arming tribes. It wanted tribal warfare in Darfur, which is happening, and for that Sudanese military is responsible. RSF is ready to be part of an investigation. He is trying to defend, because most sources are reporting that RSF members are involved in atrocities in Darfur, in infrastructure destruction, in civilian killings, in human rights abuses. So he is defending. He says he is ready to be part of an investigation, RSF. Violence in Darfur is multi-layered violence, multi-dimensional violence. We are seeing fighting between rapid support force and Sudanese military. We are seeing fighting between Chadian military, rapid support force, Chad military supporting Sudanese military, small scale fighting. And yesterday, heavy clashes erupted between two Arab tribes. Both are Arab tribes, though there is Arab, non-Arab fighting too in some areas like in Al Janina. But in this incident, both tribes who fought are Arab tribes. Habania and Salamat, both Arab tribes. And in this tribal clash, 17 were killed, more than 100 were injured. It happened in Darfur, in south of Nayala. In south of Nayala, the two clashes, the two tribes fought. And name of the area is Al-Nadif. In Al-Nadif, they fought. These two tribes have been involved in fighting in the past as well. In the past, they fought over land, over pastures, over water resources, etc. Now, when other type of tribal violence is on the rise, intra-Arab tribal violence is also being seen. So you see that it's not just between RSF and Sudanese military in Darfur. There are several players, different tribes who are in charge of their own territories. And these tribes have been fighting in the past too. Agreement signed several times in the past, and now due to new security situation in Darfur, we are seeing resumption of old hostilities, it seems.
نتأسف ونعتذر لشعبنا عن الأذى البدني والنفسي والاقتصادي الذي سببته هذه الحرب، والتي لم نخطط لها ولم نسعى إليها، والتي خضناها مجبرين للدفاع عن أنفسنا وتخليص بلادنا من غضبة النظام البائد الذي دمر حياة السودانيين، ولتحرير شعبنا من سيطرة السودان القديم الذي أورثنا الظلم والاستبداد. نتأسف جدا للأحداث الدامية التي دارت في مدينة الجنينة، ونترحم على أرواح جميع المواطنين الأبرياء الذين راحوا ضحايا الصراع القبلي، كما نترحم على روح الفقيد خميس عبد الله أبو بكر والي ولاية غرب دارفور الذي قتل بطريقة وحشية ندين بشدة اغتيال الوالي خميس عبد الله أبو بكر. ونحن قمنا خلال اليومين الماضيين بإجراء اتصالات مكثفة في مدينة الجنين لتهدئة الأوضاع، معرفة ملابسات هذه الحادثة، وتحصلنا على المعلومات الحقيقية، ومع ذلك شرعنا في تشكيل لجنة تحقيق داخلية تذهب فورا إلى الجنينة للتغطي حول الحادثة، ومستعدين للتعاون مع أي لجنة تحقيق مستقلة بهذا القضية. كما تعلمون أن ما حدث في الجنينة من قتال لم يكن مستغربا بالنسبة لنا، لقد حذرنا منه كثيرا، ولدينا كافة المعلومات حول عمليات التسليح التي تمت من قبل استخبارات الجيش ولجميع الأطراف في الولاية من أجل إشعال الفتنة. إننا نمتلك المعلومات والأدلة الكافية لعمليات التجنيد لأبناء القبائل التي تمت، والنمر العسكرية التي تم توزيعها عشوائيا للقبائل ضمن الخطة الخبيثة لإشعال الحرب القبلية في دارفور، والجنينة كانت هي البداية. وإننا بسبب الصراع بين المكونات القبلية في الجنينة أمرنا قواتنا هناك بعدم التدخل والبقاء في مواقعها، وقد التزمنا بهذا الأمر، ولكن الانقلابيين شاركوا في تلك الأحداث بالدبابات والأسلحة الثقيلة، وهي موجودة لدى المواطنين، وبعضها تم حرقه داخل